You can see I've got the tractor and the bale chaser trailer behind me. This is going to feature more on Sunday because we are baling some more straw again, which means we've got some more combining done. So that's coming up in this update. But just before I get into that, I just wanted to touch on two things that BBC have aired. Or one they have aired, one they're going to be airing tomorrow night with Brian May, and that's about TB. I'll touch on that in a minute. But yesterday, BBC Breakfast put up an article, or they had the CEO of River Action, James Wallace, which is an activist group looking at river quality and saying that livestock farming and the growth hormones that are used in promotion of growth in livestock contribute towards the lack of river quality. Just to highlight for the non-farmers who watch this channel that growth hormones were banned in the UK 30 years ago. Now this was corrected on BBC Breakfast about an hour after it put it out that they were used. So, but it's always too late once it's gone out in the first place. So just please remember that the growth promoters are not used in production of meat in this country, whereas they are in some countries abroad. Also, just touching on the programme that's coming out tomorrow night, that Brian May, the well-known Badger TB activist, or against that, was saying that badgers do not carry TB, badger culling does not work, and really putting out a lot of untruths. Now, the problem we've got is that the BBC have put out a very biased programme. Whenever I've done things with BBC, I've always been told that they have to get somebody from the other side to counteract what we say as farmers. This hasn't happened in this instance, and so Brian May is talking a lot of rubbish. So watch tomorrow night, because you'll see. The AHDB's lead vet, Sarah Tomlinson, I actually spoke to her at the NFU conference in February, and I've got quite a good piece about TB and about the truths about TB. So I'll put that up in the coming weeks. But just to remember that culling badgers at the moment does give a 56% reduction in the transmission of TB. Anyway, one other thing as well, Henry, my godson Henry, has a lot of people have been asking how he is. I'm going to be featuring him in the next couple of weeks, so watch out for that. And also, I've had one question that's come up a few times, is why are we pulling up SFI crops? You've seen us do that in the last few weeks. All the land and the cover crops that we've pulled up are not in an SFI scheme because they don't qualify. We've put them down under our expense, so they're just to improve the soil structure. So we're pulling them out, we're not getting any compensation for them, and we're pulling them out early so we can get a good winter wheat in this next year. Anyway, let's crack on with this update. We are carrying on with harvest and the tipping of grain trailers and in-store management again, and how we look at monitoring and keeping a record of every trailer load that comes into store. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you at the end. So we've got going again after about a 4-day break, even though there's only 3 millimeters of rain. We just weren't prepared to do it at moisture over 15%. So it's now 15%, which is great. This one's not yielding brilliantly. It's the variety Cranium again. Lowest bushel weight. I better just shut the cab door. So we're getting on, but this end, great areas at this end of the field, bare because it was waterlogged all over the winter. The brown is the weeds that were growing, but we sprayed them with Roundup about a month ago, a bit more than that. See here, big areas here. So this is another field that wants mould draining and really putting right this next month. So just wanted to show you in this shed. This is the one my father put up in 1976. It's only 16 feet from the floor to the eaves, maybe 15 I think, and 1976 would have been a big shed. But when you get these big Bailey trailers, that's as much as we can tip, just 1.5 rams out, and it is coming out because it's dry. But what we have to do, you can see I'm at an angle, I back down that side, back into the high side of the shed, and then at last minute tip, put the back end of the trailer that way so the trailer's higher where the roof's a bit higher, otherwise it's difficult getting it out. So every trailer load that we bring into the yard that we combine goes over the weighbridge, and we record that, and then it goes it's sampled as well with the sampler that we use to sample the lorries that come in when we're storing oilseed rape. So I use this control and it moves the sampler outside. You can just see the trailer outside on the camera, so I use the joystick here, push down on that, push on the joystick, and then that, you can see, lowers into the grain there, and then it collects the grain in there, and that's got a good representative sample of the load. So I just open that up, let it go in the bucket, and then we sample it in the usual way with the moisture analyzer. Put 2 cupfuls in, there's one gone in, that's the second. A little bit more because that needs to go green, which it has. Touch it. So 14.95 moisture, so I record it on here. I've already written down the weight, so I record the moisture 14.95, and the bushel weight is 77.42, so I put 77.42, and temperature 25.13 degrees. And then it's going into store 4, put that down, and that's every load for the field. Then what we do, Tom's already started some there from the loads, we take a cupful out of every trailer load, put into there, and then that bucket will build up, and then when we finish the field, we stir that all up to mix it up, and then we take 2 sample bags out of there, so that we've got them for the field. And here we have, that's one, and that is the last field. And so in that sample bag there is a small amount from every trailer load that's when we've combined that field. So then we send one away to be analysed, and then we keep one ourselves. So we've got a full record of everything that's been combined, moistures, temperatures, everything when it's gone into store. And of course, most importantly, how many tons we've got. And back around into shed 4. That just makes it easier if we tip the trailer up a little bit. The back door won't come open unless I touch that lever there, because it's under pressure. So it's just easy, you can see when you're backing into the doorway. You just tip up so you can see underneath like that, and then stop that. And you can just see the doorway is a lot easier. There we go. I'll just open the back window. We don't usually do that for dust, but I'll just open that so you can see. There we go. So I'll just open the back door with that lever there by pulling that. You can just see. There we go. You can see the grain come out. Tip the trailer up a bit more. Keep moving forward a little bit, and I will just get out and just show you the height of this shed compared to the other one you saw a minute ago. When you look at that height there, that's 32 feet to the eaves, so it's double the height of the other shed. That trailer's not quite fully up, you can see by the rams, but nearly. Just look how much more room we've got. So I wonder, in what's that, about 50 years time, whether this shed will be as small as the other one is today. Crikey, if it is, the scale of things will be huge. Look at the dust coming out of the combine now. This is a variety called Dorsum, and it's the only field we've had of this variety, but there seems to be an awful lot of dust with it. Got one more run back, breed, row, call it what you like, back to the end, and then that's this field finished. So been of a stop-start harvest, really, what we've had. We have still got some more to do, but not going to be ready for probably another week or 10 days. We've got a field of wheat up on the heath after sugar beet. It wasn't planted until, I think, about mid-January, and it's mainly cranium with some Oxford in the middle, a new variety called Oxford in the middle. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that performs against the cranium, and also whether the cranium is like the rest of it. The rest of the cranium is low bushel weight, whether planting late has made any difference or not. So we've got 30 acres up on the light land to do up there, and then down here on the main farm we've got 2 fields of spring barley that were planted about the middle of April. One's I think 13-14 acres and the other one's about 30 acres, and when we get those 3 done, that is it then, apart from the Capulet beans that we've got. And they're not going to be ready till probably middle end of September, so quite a while yet with that. But still plenty of work to do. But with having a third of the farm no crops on, obviously it's reduced our combining, or the amount of acres we need to combine. That is the loom. Oh no, that's nice. £156 including VAT for that. Phil's come to get it fixed. So Phil knows what he's doing. We've got all his wires out and we found a broken wire, and this is the new loom that Phil's put some of it in. And that's one of the rams that we've got out. This will be about the first time for 6 weeks that we've had all the gears, maybe a bit longer. We're just doing a little job at one of the beet pads where we had some tarmac planings on, because we're going to be putting some straw bales on here, and there's quite a lot of stone and chippings all around the edge of the sleepers. So what we're going to do is, what we've done, we've cut some metal, put them under the angle, under the stanchion there, to lift the sleeper off, so we've got daylight under. When this concrete was made, which was about 30 years ago originally, the first part of it, the levels aren't right, and instead of the concrete sloping that way to the field, it actually slopes that way to the sleepers, and all the water runs that way. And then when we've got sugar beet on here, it sits in the corner, so we thought if we leave a gap underneath all of them like this, the water can get away, we can also clean underneath properly, and we'll make sure there's no tarmac here at all, because all this straw that's going on here is going for livestock bedding, so we don't want any stones in it. So we're going to clean this concrete just as good as they could eat your supper off it. So we're just lifting them up with the forks. We've had to bring the Toyota down because the Manitou's got an oil pipe burst, so we've had to bring the Toyota down, and we're just lifting them up with the forklift like this. And then Ruben's got the compressor out, and we're blowing all the debris away, and then putting the bits of angle iron in. Here's all the bits, like not angle iron, box section, here's all the bits that have been cut. Just taking some knocking down. It is going slowly. These are some what we've cut. He's dropping. Just lower it down. Making a really good job of this. So that was a really short midweek update. Hope you enjoyed that. We are up to date now with combining, as you've seen. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you regular slot Sunday morning 8 a.m.